Hello, I'm Bettina Cornwell, and this is Sponsorship and Marketing, and we'll be talking about ambushing. I don't know if there's a more fun, interesting, also contentious topic in sponsorship than ambushing. So in the basic idea, ambushing happens when a non-sponsor attempts to associate with a sponsored event. So in sponsorship, we have a sport, art, or event, charity being sponsored by a brand, and they're paying a considerable amount of money to be there and to do this. So when a non-sponsoring brand comes in to build an association, while they may not be trying to steal the awareness from the true sponsor, they might damage that true sponsor's opportunity to communicate. And we can think of this in 4 quadrants that are set up by understanding intentionality and legality. So from intentional to unintentional and legal to illegal to legal. So let's start in this strong form. Strong form quadrant. So here we have appropriation of marks or logos, intellectual property for use by another brand, truly violating law. So if you were to take the Olympic rings and to put those rings onto merchandise that you were wanting to sell and not paying the licensing fee, that would be strong form ambushing, and really you don't find as much of that sort of thing as you used to. So if we move down here, then we have what we might call, unaware ambushing. So here you are indeed illegal. You've taken some logo or some information, you've borrowed it, and you have put together an offering. Let's say a baker, and they have a cake, and they put it in the front window. It's beautifully decorated, kind of in the feeling of the Olympics, and they have the Olympic rings on the cake, and it's illegal because you don't have the rights to that. Probably they shouldn't go after that, but it occasionally does happen. So unintentional and yet legal gives us an interesting quadrant, which is sometimes called incidental. So in incidental ambushing, you have the right to be there. You may have absolutely no intention to ambush. You're just another brand in the context. Something happens such that you're brought into the middle of everything, and it's very exciting, and people realize or people believe that you may be the sponsor, or you may have attributions of being supportive when you're just there. So you didn't mean to do it, but you don't violate any laws in this happening. The quadrant of most interest is what we might call creative. Creative ambush marketing. Here we get all kinds of interesting things and the predominance of what people are talking about. So here, there is intent to associate with an event that you're not sponsoring, at least not in the way in which the true sponsor, title event sponsor, is holding rights. It is legal because you are doing something that is within the boundary of the law. You might be very close to the edge of that boundary, but you're still within legal limits. An example might be offering out a product very near an event that's taking place in a parking lot and distributing samples, but you have rights to be there, and although you're capitalizing on the event, you are not illegal in your offering of free samples. Another prominent example would be Nike. They're oftentimes accused of this kind of creative ambushing, putting together a viral video. It becomes very popular at the same time of, let's say, the World Cup. They have rights to the relationship with athletes that are featured in the video. It is maybe a form of creative ambushing, but it is entirely legal. Other forms where events are taken over in the sense of brand representatives being there but not being branded is also legal. So that said, we have situations where brands want to counter that. So they want to counter ambush. They want to draw attention to the fact that this process has taken place and that it is not fair. Sometimes people go as far as moral or ethical for a non-sponsoring brand to be gathering attention and violating what they believe is their right, and it may be in one of these categories. Counter-ambushing, though, can backfire. If a big discussion is brought forward about the ambushing brand in the event, over time, and certainly after the event passes, people may actually remember the ambushing brand and the event, not what you want. There's also an unusual possible outcome, and that's the development of distinctiveness, not counter-ambushing with wanting to punish the ambusher, but drawing attention to the difference between a true sponsor and an ambusher. In a sense, highlighting their contribution and what they're doing versus counter-ambushing and blaming and shaming the ambusher. Another point we really probably need to bring forward in talking about ambushing is fun. And that is to say that ambushing can be funny, it can be creative, and unless people are drawn into the understanding that this is ambushing and might be an ethical violation or a contractual violation, they might actually enjoy this very much and find it humorous. In fact, even feel that it's part of the festivity, part of the typical situation you have in a sponsored event. So people will condemn it if there's a discussion of look what they've done, but when they're just consuming and experiencing it in an environment, they may appreciate it and actually enjoy it. So this has been Ambushing in Sponsorship and Marketing. Thank you.